Yo, what's up? It's your boy Currency 365. Hope you guys are doing well. Legends never die, they stay in our hearts. If you want to support us, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also you can come down here and hit the join button under the video or in our channel section. And you can also join our Patreon, patreon.com/currency365. And we also have Cash App and also PayPal for supports if you want to sow some seeds. Peace out. God bless. Enjoy the video and keep the movement going. Legends. Bye. All right. Welcome back to Currency 365. Hope you guys are doing well here on Eyes Open Media. All right. So, yesterday we did the Road to #1 video and we talked about what's going on and how people are very frustrated and people want to be released, and release of the pressure of having to, stake with the burn-off validator at 100%, and while the rest of the community that refuses to help with Repeg, and it's not even just that, it's that the rest of the community is literally ignoring the burn it all validator. And that's what gets to people. It's like, oh, we're really sacrificing our tokens for a community that doesn't even want to recognize us. No influencers want to talk about us, not even recognize that we're burning USTC to help them repeg, right? The tokens. And it's just disrespect, the disrespect in the community. And so in the video, we talked about how people really want, just let's go to something like 80-20, where we get 80% rewards and or 20%, and we burn 20%, right? And Brad's also able to take the funds and pay all nodes, and because that's coming up, right? So he's going to have to pay all nodes here soon in March. So we might as well adjust now. And because the burn tax is 80-20. So that's where I got the idea for 80-20 to go to 80% rewards and then 20% burns for the burn it all validator. Just release people. It's time for the release. It's time for not just the release of that. It's time for the release of the Iraqi dinar. It's time for the release of the Sheena and all the other tokens that have been under captivity. It's just time for the release, and it's a perfect time to do it. I would do it today if I was Brad, but it is what it is. But and then in the video I did say that if the influencers, we already know the answer is going to be no, but if the influencers and if the people of the Lung community actually want to repeg with it in 90 days and do our program of the 90-day repeg, then we won't go to 80% rewards. We will go to 80% burns and 20% rewards, right, for 90 days, right? And they will promote the burn it all validator, and everybody will come on board knowing that 80% will be going to burns, and then 20% they will get some rewards. They will still get rewards. They'll get 20% rewards, and 80% will be sent to the burn wallet for a repay purpose, and the whole community will be joining the burn it all validator and trying to repeg this thing while still getting rewards in 90 days, right? We'll be buying USTC, we'll be burning USTC, we'll be staking with the burn all to burn USTC, and the whole goal is to repeg in 90 days. I know they're gonna say no, so there's just no reason to waste our time. I was just trying to be nice in the video, but the reality is they're not gonna do it. So I think if I was Brad, I would go to 80% rewards today and 20% burns and just release people. And I guarantee you, I'm not going to guarantee anything, but I think the people will be different. I think people, there's people that joined the Telegram group that haven't even said a word, and there's other people that joined and they said things earlier and now they're like, they're maybe secretly hurting inside. It's like, man, these guys don't even want to repeg, and here I am, giving up 100% of my rewards. So it's just not right. It's not right that we're doing that to it. If this was Shiba Inu community, and we were doing that, then we would be honored. I mean, people they would be talking about us. They would have us in magazines. And Brad's burning all the shit they can. and the Chip Army recognizing them and supporting them and saluting them. And the Luna Classic community is dead silent. You're actually disrespected if you're burning USTC. They want you to go home. They want you to go back to Africa. Like it's it's the weirdest thing ever, and it's completely opposite. If we were doing this in the Sheena community, they would support us. They would be sharing us and tweeting about us and everything. In the lung community, you don't see any of that. It's very disrespectful, and so and I think we need to release people. But I'm not the owner of the validator, so I can't do that. But there's a reason why people keep undelegating and redelegating, and we don't get nowhere. We're like we're like on a treadmill where we everybody's staking good, and then all of a sudden somebody just redelegates, and then we're staking somebody, and we're just staying we're just on a treadmill going nowhere right now, right? And so I think we went to 80% staking and rewards and 20% burns. I think we'll get everybody to come back. I think we'll get a lot of people to come back. I think people will be excited. People will be talking because they're getting rewards. They're getting paid for their efforts. And I think it'd be different if we had 200 people in the Telegram group all working together and staking every week like they're supposed to be. The group is just we're supposed to burn or stake every week, and literally 90% of the people in the group are not doing that. So that just messes everything up as well. So, people just wanted to join the group just to join the group, apparently. So they don't want to join the group to stake every week. Because if we had 200 people staking every week, then we would be fine. We would be in the top 20 right now. We'd be heading into the top 10. But that didn't happen. So we can't even stake once a week. I mean, godly. I mean, it's just the easiest thing in the world, and nobody wants to do it. So it's only the same 30 people that are doing it, carrying the entire country, basically carrying the entire world on their back for Repeg. I mean, it's not fair, man. It's just not fair. And so it's time to release people, in my opinion. But I'm not Brad. I'm not the owner of the validator, so he does what it does. But we're gonna 80/20. And I think all validators can go to 80. I mean, technically all nodes in Orion are already there at 80/20 right now, right? 20% commissions, 80% rewards, right? So they're already there. I think if we get all the validators to go to 80, we can get somebody can put a proposal up, or we could just say it right now, right? Let it all be known that if all validators go to 80/20 for 90 days, and they take those commissions. Yes, it sucks that you don't, that you got to take your commissions and burn USTC, but we're trying to repay. You want to be, I mean, some of these guys are set up. I don't know how many tokens they hold, but it doesn't even matter how many tokens they hold. Look how much power they have as delegators, right? Now somebody's going to say, well, we're not going to have this type of power once we repeg, because the moment we repeg, and Lunk's going to skyrocket and everybody's going to undelegate. So what do we get for this, right? So, well, that means that if you're asking that question, that means you don't hold much Lunk in USTC, right? Because if anybody, I would never ask that question because I hold a bunch of Lunk in US, I hold a bunch of Lunk, right? Tokens, right? So I wouldn't be asking that question. So if the validator asking that question, what do we get out of this? Because Lunk's going to skyrocket and USDC is going to repeg, and then we're going to lose a bunch of delegations because everybody's going to be cashing out. If somebody tells you that, that means they don't hold any. They don't hold much Lunk in USDC, right? So that's the sign right there. Because if you're holding 100 million Lunk, and you're holding 100,000 USDC or more, then you're not going to be asking those questions. You're going to be like, dang, I just came up, and I still get staking rewards at these prices, right? So, and you still be enjoying staking rewards, right? Now you can go back to your regular stats, or your regular commissions, once we repay. But I think all validators should go to an 80/20, should go to 80/20 and take commissions with Brad and burn a USTC. I just and for 90 days, and let's do a 90-day repay. Let's do it. I don't think they will do it, of course, because they would have already been done it, right? So, but if all nodes is already at 20%, why can't all nodes, Orion and all these validators and Happy Caddy Crypto and others go to 80/20, take those commissions and burn USTC, and let's repay. It wouldn't even take 90 days. The moment that the validators agree to go to 80/20 for repay purposes, USTC will explode. Everybody will be everybody will be selling Shiba Inu and every other token to buy USTC, and we will probably repay in 7 days. That's how you know what I mean? Like come like it's that simple. But the fact that we're not doing it and nobody wants to do it is crazy. Like if all validators came out and said yes, we agree to go to 80/20, and the 20% commissions will be going to buy back and burn USTC. USTC would be skyrocketing right now. We would literally repeg it within 7 days to 14 weeks, 14 days, because everybody would be loading up on USTC, and then here comes the burns. Here comes the burns, fueling it from behind. Right, every day, every 24 hours, all validators are burning or buying back USTC and burning it. This thing would freaking moon, and they know it. The problem is we do have a lot of enemies on this chain, and so they would not be happy doing that, right? That goes against their leverage positions on USTC, and they would not do it. So even if it did pass in the proposal, some of these validators would not do it because they're actually enemies of the chain, and so they're shorting USTC. So they would not be doing that. They wouldn't participate, but we would know who they are though. That's the cool part about it. We would know which validator didn't burn. We'd be like, okay, let's look at the blockchain. Let's look at their wallets. Let's see which validator actually burned USTC, right? And so people will be able to call them out. Hey, this validator didn't burn. This validator didn't burn. This validator. Why aren't you guys following the governance? It's because they don't want to, because they're actually the enemies of the chain. So you would actually know who the enemies of the chain are, right? But it is what it is. Okay. So that's the proposal, all validators go to 80/20 for repay purposes, with 90-day repay, and you take your commissions and you burn USTC every day. Okay. Or once a week. Some of you guys are really busy, so maybe once a week. You take those commissions once a week and you burn USTC. Others, if you're not busy, you can burn every day or every other day. But you're burning USTC with your 20% commissions for 90 days. And we're repaying this thing by March, April. That is a great plan. But of course, when I say it and when other people say it, it's a bad plan for many people. Oh yeah, let's just repay in 90 days by validators burning. Yeah, it's simple, but we don't want to. But we don't want to do that. So we get the backlash, right? So it is a great plan though. 90-day repay, all validators 80/20. You still get 80% of your rewards, but you're quickly getting to a repay, right? By burning all the tokens. By them buying is they're swapping for the tokens, so they're putting buying pressure on USTC as well, and then you're burning it out of circulation, all validators. So that massive 20%. So we got 1 trillion tokens. So that's 200. What is that? That's 200 billion, right? 200 billion tokens. Well, it's not really two. It's 1 trillion token stake, and out of that, 800 million goes to rewards, and 200 million goes to burning USTC. Though those rewards that come out of the 200 billion go to burning USTC. So that would be a nice burn every day or every other day or every week. That would be a nice burn on USTC, man, if we can pull that off. So if Shane wants to put a proposal on there, it's going to be no with veto, I'm pretty sure. As other people have been telling me, it would probably be no with veto really quickly, because a lot of validators are enemies of the chain, and they definitely don't want to do that with their leverage positions on the short side of LUNC and USTC. So, but yeah, I mean, if we could put out a proposal on that, that would be awesome, to put a proposal to all validators 80/20, 90-day repay, 90-day repay. We don't have to pay anybody to do this. We can do it ourselves. All validators 80/20 for a 90-day repay. 20% commissions will go to burn USTC on a daily, or multi-day or a weekly basis, once a week basis, right? So if we could do that, and then, now just because it passes doesn't mean the validators are gonna actually follow governance, right? So um So we got to keep that in mind as well. A lot of these validators are not going to, will probably not follow governance, and only maybe 3 of them will actually participate. So they got to keep that in mind as well. It's like if it passes, how many people are going to actually do that? So we do have to keep that in mind. Okay, so but it would be a fun. I think it would be a fun proposal. But I don't want people to waste their money though, because you got to pay to do those proposals. But because I think a lot of people are predicting that it will be no with veto for a bunch of these validators to go to 80-20, even though some of them are already close to 20% commissions, and to take their commissions and then burn USTC so they can become multimillionaires and billionaires. Oh, that's unfair. Right? So it would be that would be kind of weird for them. I mean, can you imagine saying, "Well, it's unfair that I have to burn my commissions"? It's like, dog, you're about to like if you burn your commissions, you're a billionaire. Yeah, but it's still unfair. Oh boy, it's the weirdest community I've ever been in. All right, so 1 billion lung token staked, and we got 39 million there, 6.03% blockchain there. And you can see that DF Lung leading the way there on Burns, and Burning All Valley leading the way on the Burns. Okay, let's see. Happy Caddy Crypto back to the upside. 570 million. It's like what do you call those things? Merry-go. It's like a merry-go-round. Everybody's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, but nobody's burning USTC. No one's burning Lung, so it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like you can get all these validated, but you're not burning, you're not reducing the supply, and you're not creating any type of utility that burns supply, so it doesn't really matter. And it's almost like we're just running in circles. Oh, you got the biggest delegations today. Who cares if you're not burning anything and you're not reducing the supply? It doesn't. Who cares? You know, like if we woke up and the burning off validator got 50 billion tokens delegated to it, that matters. Like people would literally run to USTC and buy up all USC they can if the burnout validator got 50 billion redelegations to it. If any of these other validators got 50 billion delegations, no one would care because they're not burning anything. They're not doing anything. So nobody's going to run to buy up USTC, right? So if DF Lung got if DF Lung got 200 billion delegations to it, people will be running to buy up Lunk. Why? Because they burn Lunk every day. So that's what makes the difference. It's like the validators that burn, people would actually react to it. These other validators that they know nobody burns, so nobody's reacting to these stuff. Oh, you got 500 million more. Good for you, but it's like it does nothing for the chain. There's nothing for the supply. It's like it doesn't help us at all. You guys are just playing merry-go-round. Let me go over here. Let me go over here. Let me go over here. Let me redelegate. Everybody's just redelegating to all the different validators, and it doesn't help the chain at all. It's just playing merry-go-round. But at the moment that you guys all come into the burn it off validator at 100% commissions right now, right, or even at 20% commissions right now, people are, it's time to buy USTC. The fact that we know that and nobody's doing that tells you everything you need to know about the community, right? So if we know that's true, and but no, and yet still nobody's doing it. So it's kind of weird. Nobody wants to come into the burn on validator or go into DF Lung. If 50 billion tokens went into DF Lung, people would be buying you Lung. If 50 billion tokens went into burn on validator, people will be rushing to buy USTC because they know that it's going to burn like crazy. If we know that already, why aren't we doing it now? Why are we still doing merry-go-rounds with all the validators that are not reducing the supply? And that's the problem. And that's why I was like, yo, it's time for Brad to release everybody, man. Because this community is so backwards. Like, just give everybody the rewards, man. Give everybody the rewards, and so they can go take the rewards and go support other communities and that actually want to burn and reduce supplies and stuff like that. Okay, so 3.8 million, 3.8 billion lunk here. USTC is 8.2 million. All right, so I don't think it's right to have people hostage anymore at 100% for a community that doesn't want to repay. Let's just give everybody the rewards and let them go buy Sheena and Flair. Let them go stake with Flair and Luna 2.0. Let them go stake with other places as well. Um, and build their portfolio. They can build their portfolio that way, and they can do other and they can be happy again. It's really a burden to it's really is a burden to having to stake at 100% and then watch the community say we don't give a crap about you. It sucks, man. It really does. And so, yeah, it's time to release the people. And look, if Brad doesn't do it, then people will just redelegate, like they've been doing, right? 'Cause they're tired. They're tired of watching a community that doesn't care about them, and yet they're sacrificing their tokens for a community to repeg, and the community is saying, screw you. That really does suck. So, anyways, this, and then you had promises from some of these other validators that said that if we come when we come up and we're in the top 10, we will burn. Remember those conversations we had with some of these validators, and they haven't done it. They haven't, and now these validators, the same validators, are in the top 10, and their commissions are doubled, and they still won't burn. It's a slap in the face. And so, yeah, it's time for Brad to release people, or people will release themselves. You know what I mean? And so, since I see that coming, I'm trying to warn Brad, hey, you might want to go to 80-20, 80 rewards, 20% burns before people roll out. You know what I mean? Because I see that coming. So, unfortunately, but and it's not the end of the world because, like I said before, well, God has already told us how the repeg was going to happen anyway. So, and he said that a lot of people were going to stake with the burn off validator, and we were going to go to these other tokens, and we were going to buy back and burn these other tokens. So that's the mission. That's the real mission of burn off validator, because the repeg is already going to happen with the dinar, with the release of the dinar. The burnout validator was going to be there for people the kingdom people to join them, and then we are going to go into these other tokens, and we were going to buy back and burn the prophetic tokens. So that's really the mission for the burnout validator, right? So so there it is. There's Brad there at 51. I really think that this is a burden on a lot of people, and it has been because we're getting all the complaints and stuff, and it's not really complaints. It's just that why am I doing this if everybody else in the community doesn't even care? So I think it's time to go to 20% and 80% commissions, and I think everybody will be fine with that. There's some people that want to stay at 100%, but the problem is that those people are not even in the top 10 on staking. Like, it's really hard to say, yeah, I want to stay here and keep everybody in burden, but I only have 7 million stake. I it don't if you're in the top five and you're like, yeah, I'm in the top five and I would love to stay here. That's we can people were like, okay, you're in the top five and you're still staking, but if you're not even close to being in the top five or top 10 and you want everybody to stay burdened, that's kind of a problem. You know what I mean? Like why aren't you in the, like why aren't you doing more? You know what I mean? So if you really believe, you should be doing more, right? So it really sucks that you got people that want to stay there, but they're not even in the top 10. Like it's currency's doing all the work. You know what I mean? I got two token. I got two valid. I think Brad even has two wallets in the top 10. Like we're doing all like most of us are like me, Brad, and a few other people are literally carrying the entire burn it all. Like and and continuing to stake here and there and it's just a burden. It's a burden because we know it's not, and it wouldn't be a burden if the community was like, yeah, go keep doing it. We're gonna promote you guys. We're gonna talk about you guys. We're gonna, we're gonna put up articles about you guys and Brad and the Burn It All Validator. But they're not even doing that. Matter of fact, they'll put up an article saying these guys are trying to burn USTC and Repeg, and how dare they? How dare you? You know, it would be a negative. It would be a negative article about the burn off validator, right? So, um, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So I think it's time to just free everybody, and we're still burning at 20%. But I just think it's time for people to get rewards and take that and go buy up the tokens and go to take it to communities that actually want to burn and actually can make you some money there on the burn side by reducing the supply. Lunk's gonna pump here anyways, up to that into that five, that three zeros in the five anyway. So, and people are gonna cash out there and they're not even gonna care about burns or anything else. So it is what it is. Um, so yeah, that's where we are here with that one. Look, we're and people are like, oh no, don't do this, don't do that, and everybody has an opinion, but does and nobody people's opinion don't really matter when we're sitting at 51 on the rankings and only 3 billion tokens staked. I think people have given their opinions by their actions. You know, if you really cared, we would be in the top 20, top 10 by now. It's been 4 months, right? So I hate when people jump in there like, well, you guys, no, you guys don't end it. And it's like, okay, how much do you have staked to us? Oh, I have 1 million staked to you, and the rest of mine are staked to 3 other validators. Your opinion doesn't matter then. You know what I mean? It's like, okay. I mean, it does matter, but it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, and so that's what we're going through right now. It's like you got people who are still staked to all their validators, which you can do that. You're free to do that. But if majority of your tokens are staked to other validators and you only have 1 or 2 million staked to burn it all, what's the point of even saying anything? Because all of my tokens are staked to the burn it all validator, right? So you don't go through. You're not going through what I'm going through. You're not going through what these other people are going through. So because your tokens are over there and you're getting rewards and stuff. You're not having to carry the burden like these other people are, right? And watching the community say, "Screw you guys that are trying to repay." Like it sucks. Why should they have to do that? Why should they have to have that burden on them? Um, They shouldn't. And so it's time to release. It's time for the release of them. It's time for the release of Dinar. It's time for the release of Sheena. It's time for the release of many tokens that have been kept on the ground and burdened and buried. It's time for the release, man. It's just the season of the release. And yeah, it's the time for a release of Doquan. It's time for a release of a lot of things, man. So just watch out for it, guys and girls. We're gonna be in a season of the release here, and I think people are going to be set free. All right, so that's all I got. I don't need to go any longer. Peace out. God bless. I'll see you guys in the next video. It is time for the release.